Hello, future engineers, subscribers, viewers, and students. Here is another video in hydraulics, and the problems here are past licensure exams in civil engineers, board exam, and the topic is hydraulics. There are 5 problems here for us to answer. Of course, there will be sideline questions related to the particular problem in this video. So here are the problems, and the first one, a constant radius arc dam has a vertical upstream face. The radius of the arc is big R and the height of the dam, which is also the headwater, is big H. The arc subtends an angle of 2 theta. What are the net vertical and the net horizontal forces due to hydrostatic forces only? Use G as the weight density of water. So let's focus one problem at a time to answer these problems. So for the first problem, let's have an illustration to help analyze the situation. So this is the plan, the top view of the arc dam. This is the arc dam. This part of the crest may be the roadway. The radius of the arc is denoted by R here for the outer arc. And take note, this is vertical. This is vertical. Since this arc subtends an angle of 2 theta, then we draw a line which bisects the angle and we form an upper right triangle and a lower right triangle. These are identical right triangles. So therefore, the hypotenuse is big R. The angle here is theta, so the opposite side is hypotenuse big R, sine of this angle, which is theta. So that's why that is R sine theta. This is also R sine theta. So for the pictorial view of the arc, so that we can have the vertical projection of the circular surface of the arc dam. So this is 2r sine theta, r sine theta plus r sine theta. Let's project it. This is the height of water, and this is the vertical projection of that arc, which is a rectangle with base dimension 2r sine theta and the height is h. So the two forces are vertical. Remember, the arc has vertical face. So this is the water side. It compresses the arc, so that's why it's strong against compression. And the arc, at the end of the arc, it is embedded in a rock, mountainous rock here, which serves as the support. So this is again the vertical projection of the arc. The vertical component, of course, due to hydrostatic force only, is 0, obviously. So the answer is 0 for the vertical FV net. It is 0. For the horizontal force, hydrostatic force, the net horizontal force is specific weight of water, barred H, which is half of H because this is rectangular, and the area is the area of the rectangle. So for our answer, FV net is 0, and FH net is specific weight of water, gamma, barred H, which is the distance from the water surface to the centroid of the projected area, which is big H over 2, and the area is the area of this rectangle, 2r sine theta times big H. So FH net is gamma, barred H area, where gamma, as stated here, is G. The barred H is big H over 2, and the area is 2r sine theta times big H. So if you simplify this expression, FH net therefore is G H big H square R sine theta, or G R H square sine theta. So G R H square sine theta. So that's the net horizontal component of the hydrostatic force. The net vertical component of the hydrostatic force is 0. So for the next question, the absolute viscosity of a fluid varies with pressure and temperature and is a function of blank. So from Newton's law on viscosity derived in the lecture part of hydraulics, you just go over with that. I suggest that for those who want to master hydraulics, this channel is enough for you to master hydraulics. Although I'm not claiming it's the best channel, you may proceed with other channels. That's other YouTube channel that's recommended. So like for the basics of engineering, you may visit the organic chemistry tutor. For civil engineering, I want you to visit Dr. Structure. Uh, we have the efficient engineer, those vloggers or YouTube content creators. So I recommend them. But if you cannot understand them, you go back to Filipino vloggers. So next, this is the Newton's law on viscosity. Shear stress is viscosity times du dy, which is called strain rate or angular deformation rate. Therefore, this viscosity here may be also called absolute viscosity, like in this statement, viscosity, absolute viscosity, coefficient of viscosity, dynamic viscosity. Those are synonymous terms for viscosity. So therefore, viscosity varies or is a function of shear stress and strain rate or angular deformation rate. So shear stress, viscosity, absolute viscosity, coefficient of viscosity, dynamic viscosity is a function, that's F, function of shear stress, and strain rate, du dy, that's strain rate, or angular deformation rate, that's the other term. Third, the relative roughness of a pipe is dependent on blank. Relative roughness, it may be denoted with epsilon, or it is, by formula, it is absolute roughness over diameter. So this absolute roughness is the absolute roughness or protuberance of the inner surface of the pipe. So therefore, the answer is relative roughness is a function of or dependent on absolute roughness of interior surface and the diameter of the pipe. Then number 4, the fundamental reference dimensions are mass, length, and time. The fundamental SI units for these quantities are the kilograms, meter, seconds, respectively. So the unit force taken from these units is the newtons. Consequently, the unit of pressure, Newton per square meter, is called, so I think you're familiar with this unit of pressure, that is called pascals, or simply Pascal. Number 5, this is the measure of the relative importance of the inertial forces to viscous forces. At sufficiently high values, the flow becomes turbulent. This ratio is called, in particular, this is the ratio of inertial to viscous forces, and this is called Reynolds number. Reynolds number, diameter times mean velocity of flow times density over viscosity. Or if we rearrange diameter times mean velocity over mu divided by density. Mu over density is kinematic viscosity. The denominator here is the kinematic viscosity. And in open channel flow or for conduits with non-circular sections, we replace the diameter by the hydraulic diameter, which is 4 times the hydraulic radius. Again, 4 times the hydraulic radius is called hydraulic diameter times mean velocity of flow divided by kinematic viscosity. So don't be confused. The denominator is kinematic viscosity. The numerator there, though the two symbols are almost identical, but there's little difference. So the numerator is mean velocity of flow, and the denominator is kinematic viscosity. So for so that is called Reynolds number or Reynolds number. For other number like the Weber number, for your additional info or additional background and knowledge information, Weber number is the ratio of inertial to surface tension. Take note of that. Weber number, ratio of inertial to surface tension. We also have Froude number, FRODE in open channel flow. The Froude number is the ratio of inertial to gravity forces. So that's the Froude number. In particular, it is mean velocity of flow divided by square root of quantity acceleration due to gravity times the uh, hydraulic depth. And the hydraulic depth is the ratio of the cross-sectional area of the channel to the top width of the channel. Then lastly, we also have the term Mach number. The Mach number is the ratio of the speed of the object to the speed of sound in a close or related medium. So again, Mach number is the ratio of the speed of the object to the speed of sound. Hypersonic uh, jets, fighter planes. If the Mach number is 1, that means the speed of the object is equal to the speed of sound. But if the Mach number is let us say greater than 1, let us say 2, that's very fast, then if you can see the jet coming overhead, you cannot hear the sound unless it passes by. So those are uh, hypersonic jets like fighter plane. So if the Mach number is 2, you cannot hear the sound until the fighter plane passes overhead. So that's it for this video. I hope that your knowledge in hydraulics is little by little enhanced and added.